sourcing a product from Alibaba and creating a seven-figure business with just $28,000.
Wow.
Let's talk about Luxy Hair. Coming
Let's
right
go.
up. What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here. I'm with Matt Skopak.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Deep Dive, episode 26, where we take businesses like Luxy Hair and dive into their marketing and business strategies such that you can take these strategies and start implementing into your business so you can start scaling and hopefully succeeding. So Luxy Hair started when? Actually, go back, add a little bit of context.
Yes, so this started in 2010 by Alex and his wife, Alex, Ikonn, and Mimi, her name is. And it really started out as
I think they were looking for a wedding,
they were getting married, and the wife was having a lot of trouble finding hair extensions that were good quality and that she actually liked. And the husband being, I think he read a book and he was getting into the entrepreneurship area, and he basically was thinking of ideas, and he said, why not? So he basically contacted suppliers on Alibaba and then kind of went through a whole process with them, and then told his wife to start making content and creating a customer base. And that's how Luxy Hair was created, started, and now they are grown into a seven-figure revenue business, and they are one of the top hair extension suppliers and brands out there in today's market.
I'm not really a fan of drop shipping. I'm a fan of like creating your own product, but it can be very profitable if you're finding the right product and also branding in such the right way.
Yeah. If you get lucky. And obviously they got lucky because they said they're still working with the same supplier that they first started with. And as many of you know who've worked with Alibaba suppliers, it's not easy. Communication is tough, and it's a hard relationship to maintain. And we see a lot of startups start there and then bring the manufacturing closer to the home, just like a lot of the companies we talked about. So this is an odd one where the relationship is still intact. So
one thing before we dive into these points, I would love to highlight. Skopak. I love the marketing concept and the business model that Alex Ikonn started, but I want to tell you guys, as our listeners, like a lot of this storytelling, like she couldn't find hair extent that she liked, so she went on Alibaba to freaking find hair that she liked. I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit.
Well, that's
good PR. That's great storytelling.
No, she didn't. He did. He thought of ideas, and they need to source the hair extension. So he went on Alibaba. Obviously, that's basically all they knew about. So. Yeah. Not saying that's the best route, but that's what he did.
Yeah, so let's dive into number one. Use tutorial videos to draw in new customers. Luxy Hair did such a great job doing this. They started their YouTube channel, I believe, in 2010.
Yep, real life.
Just creating amazing content, how-to stuff. If you actually look at some of their biggest videos, which, obviously the popular ones have been submitted years ago, it's like how to create braided style hair, like stuff that people are searching for. So they created all these tutorial videos, and in the description, which is great, like they're providing value, which is very important. This is something we preach on all the time. Provide valuable content, right, for your audience. And then, these are the people that are going to be searching for your content. They're going to land on your YouTube page, for instance. This is what we're talking about for YouTube instance, but this could go into Pinterest as well. Is creating these how-to guides and also blog articles that people can land on. And let's revert back to YouTube. In the description, they're actually putting the links to the products that are used in the video. However, when these are tutorial videos that the people could just do at home without the product being used. Yep. Now, if the product is in there, let's say if you're like, let's go away from the hair extensions. If you're using a brush, right? It could be any brush, but they're using that brush for that brand, right? Yep. You could say, hey, these are the things that we used to create this style.
That's basically what all influencers do now, especially makeup or cosmetics. They always put it on themselves. They explain the product and the company. But why don't you talk a little bit more about why YouTube tutorial videos were successful for their product type?
Well, they created those how-to videos that people were searching for, and they also created valuable content.
Yep.
but they also started very early on, which is
Early,
very important.
Very important for YouTube because or obviously the longer your video's up, the more views, and then the most views obviously scale to the top. But I think something very important to touch on is when you have a product that changes appearance, it will be it will be much more successful than products that don't. So hair extensions, they like to focus on before and afters, which is perfect content for YouTube tutorials or any tutorial for before and after. So that is why they are so successful and they can use YouTube. And I think for a while they only used YouTube tutorials. There was no paid advertising. So if your product is not noticeable, say CBD, since I have the CBD company, you can take CBD and there's no noticeable difference physically or appearance wise. It wouldn't be that good of a YouTube before and after tutorial. However, hair extensions, short hair, no makeup. Now let me put extensions on and do a full face of makeup for a girl. It's a big difference, and it sells. So obviously take into consideration what type of product you are when you if you use a YouTube tutorial strategy.
Yeah, and also be consistent. This is another thing they're very good at, and it's something that when people are landing on your page, right? If you haven't posted in say like a month or so after really like putting out 5-6 videos at a time, people are gonna see that. They want to see consistency. It's just like when you're watching, your favorite show on TV. You know what time it's gonna be posted, or you know what time it's gonna be scheduled, and so forth. I mean, back in the day when Seinfeld and Friends are on. Just think of that aspect too. I think consistency is very important, especially in a noisy environment.
Yep. I think he said they were at one point releasing 5 videos a week.
Yeah.
And then they had to scale it back because the quality, I believe he said, to 3. So, but Gary V, always be releasing content. So. I think we're on to number 2. So social media page takeovers are in. So for all you that are not familiar with this, brands are starting, it's been happening for probably 3 to 5 years now, where brands are aligning with influencers or celebrities.
It actually started out with, I believe, Snapchat, when Snapchat, DJ Khaled was doing all these like takeovers as well.
Yep.
I don't know if he started, but I remember that's where I seen it.
Made its way into Facebook Live, into Instagram and whatnot. But they basically align themselves with the influencer or celebrity, like DJ Khaled, like Sean was talking about, and they basically take over their social media page, and throughout the day either show what their daily activities are, how that product is used in their daily uses, or anything like that.
Or just tutorials.
Or just tutorials.
Or just fun content, actually, Matt, just not to cut you off, because I was looking at them yesterday at their Instagram page, and there was someone who just had 10,000 followers, let alone, just a reminder here, Luxy Hair has about 600,000 followers. Yep. They collaborated with someone who has 10,000 followers, but guess what that's helping them do? Distribute new content, a new voice, and so forth with a different look. So that's very important.
And like we said, it also creates brand credibility. So all her followers that see her as a friend, now it's basically she's giving credibility to the brand. She uses it. It's like a friend recommended something, which is much higher than just a review that you read. So, but you have to be very strategic. If you're going to go this route, you need to make sure that the influencer, the celebrity, matches your brand and the audiences are alike. And you also need to create a plan. Make sure you have a schedule of what they are going to do, and make sure that they understand the goals and the objective of the takeover. So it's not just hire someone and let them go about their business. You need to have a full plan, schedule, know the objectives, and then they also need to promote both the influencer, celebrity, and the brand.
Or content creator.
Content creator needs to promote beforehand the takeover and anything that could be happening during it. So that's the key on how to create a successful takeover on your social media page.
Here's something you could do and take away on this, right? If the content creator, you could help the content creator by creating like those flyers, say, hey, look, scheduled on Thursday, which is a week from now, just say like a week from now that you'll be taking over like this content creator, let's say Cynthia something, right, is taking over our IG feed from 1 to 4 p.m. or 1 to, that's a lot, for an hour on Thursday, right? And what they're going to talk about, just a little flyer, create that for them. As a brand, create that for them, give them the content, say if they like it and so forth, so they could actually put that on their feed and so forth.
Their base,
And most likely you're going to see is they're going to reshare that on their stories as well, because when you're tagged, you could share, they could add to their story, which just gives you more exposure. Although you do have that, even if you did have a high number of followers like Luxy Hair does, right? Don't be greedy. You're still getting a newer audience. and adding that credibility,
Correct.
which is so important.
So the psychology and the science behind this, guys, is basically for brands why they do this. It's basically they found that the followers of whoever that influencer is, they get put into the funnel. So think of a funnel really wide, you're casting a large net. They get put into the funnel at a lower point. So there's a higher chance of them converting into a customer for that brand. So that's the science of why takeovers actually work. But so I think that's it.
That's it.
Number three.
Number three, A/B test web banners and appearance. This is something I actually saw a study that someone did. I believe, I forgot what it was, what company, but this company did the A/B testing. And what Luxy Hair, when they did A/B testing on their website, right? They when they changed their web banner from their web banner from their desktop versus their mobile was different.
And the web banner is the opening picture, basically. That's the main screen that you see when you go onto their site, either from mobile or a desktop.
So on their desktop, they had a before and after picture, right, of a girl like showing, before the hair extensions and then after wearing the extensions, right? And on the mobile, right, it was just one model, right?
High quality picture,
high quality
close
picture,
up.
close up with just the hair extension saying something, fuller hair or something like that, right? They realized that the desktop creative or the web banner was doing significantly better, converting significantly better than the mobile web banner. So what they did, they switched it up, and now actually right now, today, well, as of yesterday.
The before and after picture, just because the larger desktop screen, it showed a better, I guess, correspondence. So it was more successful. I think at like 20 or 30%.
Well, 17% revenue increase.
17% revenue increase and customers staying on the site when they were on the desktop and actually saw the full picture. While when they're on the mobile, it didn't work very well, the before and after. So they actually found that it was like a 30.
But they also tested with one model and just showing
one model. And then on the mobile phone, the model that was a close-up of just her was about 30% increase in revenue in customers staying on their site when it's on the mobile phone.
When it's no, I think we're trying to say, so the before and after converted a lot better
on the desktop and not on the mobile phone
because you didn't see the before and after. Yes, it was kind of cut off.
It was cut off.
It was cut
and then
off.
on the mobile phone, the one model shot, which was a close-up and looked better on the picture on the mobile phone, converted at 30% higher compared to the before and after.
And then they switched now today. As of yesterday, as when I was looking at their site, they actually have now their slider is it's like almost a jiffy, so you see the transformation.
Gotcha.
So you see the transformation, obviously, but it's different. So what's very important here to realize is A/B testing. See what works and what doesn't. See what works on desktop. Sometimes what works on desktop is not going to work on your mobile platform. So it's a different screen, it's a different layout, and so forth. So you have to see what works, what's going to help increase your revenue. So try A/B testing, and A/B testing goes a long way. And when I say A/B testing, I don't want to really get into it, but this is just testing different formats across different audiences, across almost the same subset or same number of people, right? And seeing what converts better. It's usually based on a significant amount of data, like 10,000 users, so you can see what's working and what's not.
And we talk a lot about in different ways. It could be emails that you're sending out. It could be marketing strategies. In this example, it's just the opening picture. But basically, it is important. And also, if you use Shopify or any of these back-end systems, you can see where your customers are coming from, if they're on the desktop or if they're on the mobile. So that should help you make a decision and then test your front page, your website, or anything like that.
And I think there's websites that help you do this. That's just look it up, Google it. I actually need to do it for my business as well. There's a lot I need to do. I believe you guys do it. Do a lot of A/B testing.
Yeah, a lot of testing before we always scale up.
Yeah,
that's definitely the key. You need to test before you start spending a lot of money. So that was number 3. Number 4, right? Get creative with your loyalty program. So I think this one's very important. I'm all very big on subscription programs. If you've been following a lot of our podcasts, I talk all the time about how subscriptions are the future. Consistent revenue streams. I am also big on a loyalty program. And it's not just a basic loyalty program. You have to make sure your loyalty program aligns with your brand and is customized. So what I say like this.
So how does Luxy Hair do it?
Exactly. So Luxy Hair is called Luxy Loyalty. By the way, the first letter back to back is very common in any rewards program just because it rolls off the tongue and it's basically catchy. So Luxy loyalty, I've seen
Oh, you're saying adding like the first name of the brand.
Luxy loyalty LL. Anything that's or RR, like something like say you had a I don't know rough royalty or something like that. Your company is rough. It's just something consistent. The way it sounds to people, it's just catchy. So that always works in loyalty programs. But you need to make sure your loyalty program is not basic. People need to be enticed and they need to be excited and kind of want to join and see the benefits in it. So Luxy does a great job. So they have Luxy loyalty and then they have Luxy points, but there's all different types of points in numerous ways, especially for e-commerce. So reviews, referrals, obviously buying, you get points. What else? There's
And these points, wait,
birthdays.
scroll back. When you're talking about points, what do these points do?
These points convert into money that you can use or free products. But there's another point. So you get these points. So obviously as people build, they get more points. They're going to use and they're going to buy more. But there's another important concept to this is you need to have different levels as well. So you have your general basic level. And if you're familiar with, let's see, Starbucks, Sephora, even think about like casinos. They always have different levels of loyalty. And what that does is that makes people want to spend more and want to level up and be a VIP. So I know when I'm in Starbucks, I'm near a loyalty or at a casino or on the website. If I know, hey, if I spend $500, I get to this next level where I get free shipping, I earn twice as many points, and then I get 10% off on all orders, and I'm $100 away, I'm going to try to get to that loyalty program, that status. So there's many concepts that you need to focus on that to create a successful loyalty program. So definitely.
What are some ways you think, I mean, from what you saw, like how people get incentivized? Like, what do they have to do?
So there's multiple ways. So as soon as you sign up, you're getting free, usually
Sign up with what?
100. When you sign up for the loyalty program, you get a free, it depends on the metrics. The metrics are always different. Sometimes $1 spent is a point. Some it's $1 is spent is 10 points. It depends on the website. But as soon as you sign up, they're going to give you 100 to 500 points, depending on the website. But then they're also going to try to make you follow the Instagram account, 50 points. Follow the Twitter, follow the Facebook. They're all going to be worth 50. Refer a friend is going to be 200. Write a review. You're going to get points on your birthdays. So there's multiple action items that you can take to earn more points. And honestly,
So the brand creates all that.
brand creates all those rules.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are multiple apps out there. There's Smile.io, which I know of. There's a couple more on Shopify that you can use as well. So they're all with Shopify. They sync in, but you create.
And this is different from refer and earn type of programs.
It
Yes,
is different, but it's refer and earn can be incorporated in this. So,
okay.
But that's something very important. I would definitely look into it, a loyalty program. If you gain loyal customers, it's going to give you an increase in revenue and give you a consistent revenue stream. So, a loyalty program cannot hurt. So, get it.
Awesome. Number 5, rank your content by optimizing keywords. Luxy Hair is very good at this. Again, going back to their YouTube, creating these how-to videos, and they're looking at like what people are searching for, what kind of content can they create or recreate. And there's tools out there that could really help you do this. One of them is ahrefs.com. Again, ahrefs.com, where you could go, I believe, you could start a free trial and you could go to, I believe it's Keyword Researcher, and there's a section called, if you want to do YouTube or just like questions asked and so forth. So, you could type in like hair, and like people say how to braid hair, how to do this. So you could create content around that. There's another tool out there. Again, these are great. A lot of them are paid. Some are, I believe, these are two I'm going to talk about are paid, but I mean, just keep creating email addresses and just use a free trial for a bit, see if it works for you. Buzzsumo, BUZZSUMO, I believe, .com. And again, all these tools find what people are searching for, what content that got shared a lot in the past, so you could start recreating them as well. You could use some of the headlines that people search for and then add those as tags in your content. Again, this could be on YouTube and so forth where you add tags. This could also be referenced back into your blog article when you're adding SEO tags and so forth when you're creating written content. So I thought that was a good snippet of something, we don't really touch base on, but it's just like really optimizing your content. People sometimes forget to add keywords. Even when we're writing or distributing our YouTube videos, we try to see, hey, look, this is what we're going to dive into. How can we really make sure our video gets out there enough? So we try to, we do our best to
keywords. Like look at today's title or today's thing. We dropped Alibaba. We used drop shipping. We used what else did we put in that title? Anything else? Into our
building a business model by drop shipping.
Business model by drop shipping. So we put keywords.
And those are going to be
we know that's going to be searched upon either on Google or on YouTube, so our video ranks higher. So you should be doing the same. And if you're not doing tutorial videos or video reviews for your e-commerce products, you need to start. So reach out to customers, ask them to post YouTube videos of product reviews. Those are really good, and those also help you rank higher in your SEO and Google search is when you have video reviews. So if you don't have any, that's definitely a great way to improve your SEO. And then also just to have video reviews, which could help customers get a better feel for your brand and buy. So I think we're on number 6. Focus on content while creating your go-to market product. And this is something that Luxy Hair did. I think this was when they were creating the product and working with different sources in Alibaba. Alex basically told Mimi to, hey, let's just start creating a content base online. And she went on to, I think her first review was a hair straightener off Amazon, but they had no products. They had nothing.
So they just created content?
They just created content for maybe a good year or two. And they basically just created a base of content, users that followed them. And then what did they do, like me and Sean always talked about? They launched a product. So it's like our acronym that we created called ICBL. It's basically identify, create, build, launch. Identify your audience or your customer base, create
content around that audience.
Content around the audience. Build a user base that's following you or a customer base that are not customers yet, just followers, and then launch a product into them. So
FabFitFun did that really well.
All these brands are doing the same thing. You don't launch a product into no audience. So create a customer base.
Well, you can, but that's the worst way of doing it. Rather build. Why don't you just build that user base? You can with the tools out there, with social media out there. You could create content that your audience, your audience, or you have an idea what they're gonna like. Create content around them, and by being authentic too.
Exactly. So that's something that they do very well. And then it's a great. They had the when you go that drop shipping Alibaba route, it's not quick. So when I was reading with Luxy Hair, basically they first contacted like 30 to 40 sources. So if you're looking through Alibaba, might be helpful. What Luxy Hair did is they said probably 40, 50 suppliers. And then they started communications, and then they basically picked 10 of the best that they thought that were the best communicating with them. And they got samples. You always request samples. And then they went with the best quality. And you also have to, it's a lot of what he said, Alex said, and what I've done my research on and looked when I've looked into Alibaba sourcing is you need to have good communication with them, because a lot of times the communication is not good. It would take days to respond. It feels like they don't care. So you need to follow your gut, especially if you're spending a lot of money on these POs. Usually there's a minimum order.
But you could get,
sometimes there is.
You could get samples. So you could request a sample, and sometimes they'll give it to you for free, depending on what product it is. You just got to pay for the shipping because it's coming from overseas. The reason I know is I've done this in the past. It didn't succeed, but that was one of my first businesses. I'll get into it one day. But I know a lot about Alibaba. Sourcing product, yes, you got to do your research. You got to contact multiple suppliers. See, sometimes the quality is going to be crap, but don't be discouraged. Sometimes the product is going to be really good. Remember, a lot of these products that we use on a day-to-day basis comes from China. Yeah, it does. So,
but communication is key. You really have to focus and make sure that whoever supplier you're working with is communicating effectively in a timely manner. That's very important. And you also have to take in consideration, guys, is it takes the supply chain, how long it takes to make things, the minimum order, and then the time of travel. That's huge. If you go by vessel, it's going to take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to get here. I mean, that's quicker, and it has to go through customs as well. So I know you can pay for airfare as well, but that probably ranges anywhere between maybe $10,000 and $15,000, depending.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, especially
depending on the size of the quantity.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. But those are definitely things to think about, and some helpful tips from my experience, from Sean's experience, and using Luxy Hair when I was listening to, I guess, how he went about it. So just some things to think about.
Also, just about if you guys are just listening to this and you're like, oh, Alibaba and so forth. It's obviously, there's so much content out there, creating a brand and so forth. But you can, if you want, you see a product you like, you could white label it, right? Mm-hmm. Create your own brand. Go to 99designs.com or somewhere you could create a whole logo, packaging design, and so forth. You send it to the manufacturer. They could do it all for you. You just got to have the assets to do so. You could create a brand like that. I mean, it's not like that, but it can happen. You don't have to actually recreate the product, but it's all about branding as well. How you approach how you re-engineer your audience, understand them, and again, it comes to the branding and so forth, and how you tell the story.
And one thing we should kind of, I guess, take a step back. I should explain what if some of you are, if you're not familiar with what Alibaba is. It's basically almost like an Amazon that they have in China, but instead of being for consumer goods, it's really for businesses and to find.
It's for supplying. It's for basically sourcing products from multiple manufacturers in China. I think there's others, or now it's other places too, but I believe the main is China. I could be wrong, but I know it's a lot of manufacturers there. So
just some background in case you didn't know what it was.
All right, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Guys, this was episode 26. I hope you liked the content. I hope you liked the podcast. If you're listening, give us a review. Give us a 5-star review. That's what we want to see, some more 5-star reviews. It'll be very helpful for us. Share the podcast to your friends, to a bunch of entrepreneurs that you know that will love this type of information.
And we're going to start interviewing too, guys, CEOs, CFOs, or individuals, founders, entrepreneurs in our podcast. Probably start up in the next month or two. So if you're interested, contact us if we think there's a good match.
Or if you know a company that you want to hear the CEO, hear his story and see how they grew their company and so forth. Let us know. Tweet us, email us, write in the comments. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
We want to give you that content, that valuable information.
Yep.
Check you out next week. Hope you liked it, and ciao.
Have a good night.